We know earlier in this year we couldn't win a game without Tua Tagovailoa. Failure to plan is planning to fail. We cut Mike White. He got outplayed by Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson got in and didn't play hardly at all. Snoop Huntley tried his best. Offense, a little complicated. Wasn't that good nonetheless. Tim Boyle. A lot of people saying one of the major things that this Dolphins team needs to do, no matter how they finish the season in the offseason, is find a solid backup quarterback, which got me thinking, what options do we have that are viable and good? Of course, everyone says, go to the draft, go get a quarterback. Well, you probably, let's be honest. We're probably not going to have that great of a draft pick. Like you said, currently we stand at 10th overall, which is good, but the good quarterbacks are taken usually before the 5th pick, much less the 10th pick. I still think we're somewhere in the middle, like 15, 16 in the end of the day. Miami, I think, is about to go on a little bit of a win streak and win some games as the year goes on. If you say, let's just go to the draft, of course, there's a guy right down the street, Cam Ward from Miami. That would be great. But do you think Cam Ward slips into the double digits as far as draft picks? I would say
no,
probably not.
No.
Shedeur Sanders. Some people say wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. He's a pretty darn good quarterback. But once again, does he fall to the 10th, 12th, 14th, 16th pick?
No, unless the Dolphins are willing to fire Mike McDaniel.
Arch Manning will be eligible. Now, I don't know if he's going to go to the pros or not. He hasn't really even started very much at Texas.
No.
I don't think he's going to go to the pros even.
No.
He just doesn't have enough experience. And the Mannings
he's not going to the pros.
They're in no hurry to get out of college.
He's cool. He's good. He's going to be 26, 27. He'll be the guy.
The guy who might win the Heisman Trophy, although this Travis Hunter is something else, scores touchdowns, plays defense. He's all over the place. But another guy that might win the Heisman Trophy, Dylan Gabriel of Oregon.
Not a big fan.
Not a big fan. Broke the record for most touchdowns in a season in the NCAA.
Dude, he's been in college football the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that portal and transfer portal is always going to help guys, and if they'll be able to put up numbers and the numbers follow them. So
he's somebody that could slip to the Dolphins range, and I wouldn't mind them taking him. I think he's got some tools. I think as a backup quarterback, I think he's pretty good. So he could. They got Riley Leonard at Notre Dame. I don't think he's going to be anything in the pros. I don't think we'll want a second. Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. I've watched enough of Garrett Nussmeier to tell you he's not going to be a solid 2.
And then I bet you the Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart is there. Jackson Dart's got some talent now. I'll give him credit for that. Indiana's Curtis Rourke. I've watched him. He ain't nothing special. And I definitely do not believe in Alabama's Jalen Milroe. He is a running back that can throw a couple passes here.
Yeah, but then this is where we want a mobile quarterback. We want a quarterback that can get out the pocket and escape the pass rush, and then, who has speed. But that will be a backup. Listen, baby, numero uno is your guy.
We know that.
And he's going to be a guy for the next 3 years,
but
possibly.
We need something
at
in
minimum
case of missing a game or two.
Right, but here's the thing. Even if he misses a game or two, this is a question I want to ask you. We don't know what the 25 team is going to look like. But we know that the core guys are going to be there. So if the core guys are going to be there, that means this team is still going to be a contender or will be trying to contend. So do you want a rookie backup quarterback, or do you want a veteran backup quarterback that can hold the fort down in case something similar next season happened like last season, like this season? So therefore, what I mean is, instead of going, what did you guys go when Tua was out? Was it 0-4?
Yeah,
you went 0-4. Can you have a guy go 2-2 or 3-1 and hold the fort down in case? And we're not talking about concussion, just in case an injury happens where Tua has to be put on IR for 4 games.
Okay,
so that's a question that you need to ask yourself. Do you go to the young guy that you're going to have to develop anyway? So he's going to be young, inexperienced, and not ready yet, or do you go and sign a veteran quarterback with a lot of starts under his belt? Very quick to adapt to any an offensive system, and just knows that he has to hold it down for four games.
Yeah, so we've gone through this whole thing. Tua's relatively young, and if he can stay relatively healthy, he's going to be a quarterback for a long time. So maybe getting a young guy, an apprentice, might not be your best bet. Maybe you want a guy, like you said, Vlad, that can come in, wily vet, understands football, can make plays, can get you a win here and there. Could I interest you in, as we said earlier, Danny Dimes?
I think Danny Dimes under Mike McDaniel
Daniel Jones
might work.
I think it would. I'm not opposed
Not,
to
and when I mean work, I mean like as a backup.
backup.
Just, yeah. It might work. Just somebody hold you down. He's mobile.
He's got an arm.
He's got an.
He's not a lot of accuracy, but he's got an arm.
And he's mobile.
Yeah. Although this offense is kind of predicated on accuracy, but nonetheless. Can I interest you in old man Andy Dalton?
I don't think you can ever go wrong with Andy Dalton. Like, he's just a consummate professional.
Yeah, he's good. I know, you said, he's not going to win every game, but he
knows he's the backup.
He can win
yeah. He can hold you down. He definitely can hold you down for 4 weeks.
What about Jameis Winston, possibly?
See, I'd love Jameis, but
he's a slinger. He's a gunslinger.
Yeah, he might be throwing balls to the other. There's a great chance he'll be throwing the ball to the other team as much as he's throwing the ball to you. So I don't think you can go 4 weeks and then the backup's throwing like 4 interceptions, especially not in a Mike McDaniel offense where everything's about accuracy, getting the ball out quick and everything like that. Jameis tends to hold the ball a little long. But if you're talking about pre-game speeches, post-game speeches, during middle of the week press conferences, yeah, I'm all for Jameis.
Crab legs. Let's go.
I'm all for Jameis.
What about the guy that any chance he gets to run away from his family, he does? Joe Flacco.
No.
Too much, man. We've seen enough of Joe Flacco. I'm sorry.
If you can't, come on, bro. They didn't even want to go back to Anthony Richardson. It was just that Flacco was turning the ball over.
Right. What about a guy we're going to see this coming Sunday? Because there's no guarantees that he's going to stay with the Raiders. Gardner Minshew.
You know what? Minshew Mania if Minshew won a couple of games, like for the Dolphins, Minshew Mania would run crazy in Dania and Davie. They would love him. They would love him in Dania and Davie. Dania Beach and Davie and around Davie. Yeah, they would love him. But no, I couldn't do it.
I just don't think. I still think Sam Darnold will probably stay on with the Vikings next year.
What, as a backup, though?
As a tutor to J.J. McCarthy.
It all depends on how the season ends. But if I help them get to the playoff or help them win a division, and then you kind of trying to tell me you're trying to tell me to take a back seat, I don't know if I could do that.
That's tough, yeah.
I don't know if I could do that, especially if there's some starting job out there that teams would rather take a shot at me instead of drafting a quarterback to develop. They know I've got 6-7 years. I think Sam Darnold will be a quarterback that many teams are going after in the offseason next season.
So right now, I think what I've talked myself into is, unless somebody really as a dime in the draft, which I don't really see that happening too much, we might want to look at somebody like Andy Dalton, Daniel Jones, and maybe Jameis Winston. I think that's a solid, if you can get them for the right price, a solid backup. We've seen them. We know what they do. I'm okay with that. But we'll see. We still got to win this season. Once again, it's a 1 week at a time game season for the Dolphins. They put themselves in that position. Beat the Raiders. I think they will beat them pretty solidly. And then on to the next game. And we'll worry about QB1, QB2, QB3, like this year, QB4, whenever we need to. Need a backup.
Wait, who's QB2 now?
I want to say it's Skylar Thompson. I mean, take your pick. Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle. I mean, actually, they haven't activated. Like the past couple weeks, they've just had, I think Skylar Thompson as the backup, and they haven't activated a third quarterback. That's how bad it is.
Yo, bro.
Skylar Thompson's going to be in USFL or whatever they call the
XFL?
United Football League, UFL.
You really think so?
Are the Dolphins going to bring him back?
Oh, man. That's McDaniel's boy.
Sky's the limit?
That's McDaniel's boy, man.
Okay. We'll see. But yeah, next year there definitely is going to be a different quarterback too on this team. Don't know if it's going to be a vet.
That's the question. That's the question they have to answer. Like, do they want a vet or do they want a guy to develop? I think they're going to have to go vet, because if you went with Skylar and that was a guy you drafted in 7th round and you developed for 3 years and it wasn't it. It was not it.
I'll say it. I want Daniel Jones.
You don't want McCorkle?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
McCorkle's decent. He is pretty decent though. But yeah. No, I want Daniel Jones. And I can't believe I'm saying that. Don't take me out of context on that one.
Let Zach Wilson be the backup of the Miami Dolphins next season.
I saw him get trounced by the Dolphins and have no internal clock in his head at all when they played that 30-0 game last year.
I think it's gonna happen. You guys like getting our leftovers.
Yeah, I know. See where that got us. Oh. Yeah.